Reinventing the banking wheel with DeFi.
Everyone, thank you very much for being here. I would like to start our panel with each of us presenting ourselves. My name is David Orban. I am managing advisor of Beyond Enterprises, as well as advisor to Equify, which is a DeFi platform.
I'm Alex Filatov. I'm CEO of Ton Labs, core developer of the Everscale network, and we're quite active in the DeFi space. We have 2 DEX protocols, a lending protocol, Oracle, and identity systems coming up as well.
Hi everyone, I'm Stefania Barbaglio. I'm the founder of Cassiope Services and the creator of the Financial Fox podcast. I'm also a part of the team at Umbria Network, and I'm here to represent Barney Chambers. Umbria is developing the latest with the best user experience services and app for DeFi. And I'm looking forward to this discussion about the future of banking.
Perfect. Stephen Mead, incubator, Big Bamboo technology incubator based in LA, Chicago, Malta, and now Dubai. And also CEO of Moneta Pro, which many of you know, 8-time award-winning fintech blockchain platform.
Thank you. So we have a really interesting theme today because certainly one of the original promises of Bitcoin was to bring modern financial solutions, starting with payments, to everyone on the planet. And 10 years later, we have started on that path, but there's a lot to be done. What do you think, Alex, are the challenges that we are still facing in the industry, and how are you addressing them?
Sure. Well, I think there are kind of 2 big things around technology. One is the whole scalability issue, and the other one is UI UX. I let Stefania comment on UI UX, but obviously it's very important. The place is still a little bit kind of geeky and creepy, for the crypto enthusiasts. If we try different DeFi protocols or farming mechanics, it's kind of a little bit lagging behind the UI UX expectations. On scalability, it has not been important yet. And by scalability, I typically mean throughput, speed, latency, and finality, those 4 factors. But as we have more and more folks engaging into the DeFi space, and as we have, and the place becomes bigger, and as hopefully UI UX continues to improve, there'll be more and more folks, the scalability will start mattering. There was an article from Sam Bankman-Fried a couple of days ago in Cointelegraph talking about that specifically. So I think as quickly as 1 year from now, we would need to require real scalability in DeFi. And again, I'm talking all 4 factors simultaneous: throughput, speed, latency, and finality. We at Everscale protocol figured out the sharding, or to be precise, multi-threading, which enables in August on open internet, 200 decentralized validators around the world. We showed 64,000 transactions per second, and that's scalable. So we're working hard to deliver the platform that will support the throughput and speed, latency, and finality as it becomes important in the space.
Stefania, another challenge in the industry that hasn't been maybe fully addressed for the moment is ease of use. How UI and UX, the user interaction, the user interfaces, have to be not only for the geeks among us, but for everyday users. Do you think that we are making progress towards that as well?
Yes, I think that's obviously a big barrier for everybody to embrace decentralized finance, which even banks understand is the future, but obviously because the technology can be so difficult for users. You know, you need a MetaMask wallet in order to be able to access most of the crypto, and also actually to really be decentralized. Otherwise, you have to rely on centralized crypto exchanges or organization. So that come back to the mission of Umbria, and why we started was really to demystify DeFi and bring DeFi services and product to everyone. Try to make it very simple for people to actually being able to use some services, for example, farming, for example, transferring digital assets from one chain to another chain. So what Umbria has developed, our main project, is a cross-chain bridge that is 10 times faster, 10 times cheaper than Polygon bridge. And that is a massive improvement for users. They are struggling with a high gas fee. They are struggling to move assets to one chain to another just because the gas fees are so expensive. So we have developed this bridge. We are getting big traction, particularly among NFT projects, and we are very proud. Without spending so much money in marketing, we actually have built something that community loves and is very useful for people. So obviously it's a journey. Obviously there are a lot of challenges. Technology is here to improve and is going to improve. So Umbria is going to keep doing more, and is still going to be here listening to the community, what they want, and the best way that we can develop products and services to help the crypto community to being able to actually join the ecosystem. So that is our main goal, I think, and many projects should be doing that, because it's important to focus on the users rather than focus on a technology that is not accessible to people.
Thank you. And I was wondering whether I should ask you to keep going, because I was Instagramming the panel while you were talking. I'm joking. So we touched upon two important aspects. And of course, the traditional banking sector has been evolving in the meantime too. There are challenger banks. There are digital banks. There are banks that have excellent UX today, rich mobile apps, and they are rewarded in terms of their valuation and capitalization. At the same time, they are severely constrained by the regulations that they are under. How do you think banks are seeing the DeFi disruption? Are they ever going to be able to embrace it?
Well, first off, in my opinion, they're seeing it incorrectly. And part of that is the challenge within the industry of terminology. We've called things cryptocurrencies that aren't really currencies. So if you look at a monetary system for a bank, all money's not equal. You might have money that's fiat paper. You've got a debit card, which is digital, but it's really for retail customers. You've got Swift, Fedwire, ACH, which is still digital money, but the banks do settlement differently. You have gift cards that only work within a network. So if you overlay cryptocurrency, most of them aren't currencies. And this is what I've been dealing with bank regulators on. And Malta did a great job of classifying assets in different categories. So if you look at money, if a bank's trying to do a stable coin, that stable coin's really much more like a debit card. If they're trying to do a central digital banknote, that's much more like Swift and Fedwire. If they're looking at a cryptocurrency, most of them are glorified penny stocks. They're not, you buy a 10-cent token because you want it to go to $1, not because you're gonna buy a cup of coffee. And in the US especially, banks can't regulate stocks. It's a separate function. So trying to look at Bitcoin as a currency versus an asset, I think is a mistake. Trying to look at regulating a token as a currency is a mistake. So I think the banks are wasting a lot of time on this word currency when they need to understand blockchain enables a distinction to do a bunch of different things. Just like money. Money's not all equal. A debit card's not equal to a gift card equal to Swift. but it's all money. And so I think the banks eventually will end up figuring out that most of the things they're trying to regulate don't even fall under their jurisdiction. It'll fall under something different around stocks or SEC, depending on what the function of that digital asset is. It'll fall in different domains, but right now they're throwing it all under currency because our industry screwed up and named them currencies when I don't believe they are.
That is fascinating. Naming things matters, and a misnomer can actually delay a proper understanding of what we are talking about. In our case, with the project Equify, we believe that rather than a tabula rasa, where you destroy the existing system in order to build a new one, it is actually possible to deliver DeFi yields. Equify delivers 70% APY, but it partners with a fully regulated and licensed digital bank, which supports the acceptance and the needs and the desires of those types of users that find that assuring, that find that kind of auditing and compliance in all the jurisdictions necessary for them to embrace the opportunity of the new technology. So how do you think the industry is going to address across the board these challenges in the next period, not in 10 years, but in the coming 1 or 2 years? Is there going to be an alliance? Is there going to be interoperability? We heard about cross-chain, for example. There are multiple blockchains. You are a layer 1 solution as well. There are waves of innovation and then consolidation. How do you see that?
I am a big believer in the interoperability, of course, because I think it would be almost a shame if each layer 1 is its whole ecosystem, that there is Ethereum, and then there is Solana, and Everscale, and Near, and Avalanche, etc. We have 7 bridges in our project. We have a bridge with Ethereum, all EVM-compatible blockchains, Chinese BSN, now working on Avalanche, Bitcoin, Polkadot, and soon Near. So it's almost my dream is that the whole DeFi space becomes extremely interoperable with assets being able to move freely between the different chains, because this way we'll have this disruption of decentralized finance happening much, much faster. And of course, also subject to UI, UX, and all of the other things that we're talking here.
And what is your take, Stefania?
I think that obviously the main challenge is really try to unify this fragmented ecosystem, because we have got different chain, but we have got different digital assets. We have got different jurisdiction. And in order for people to kind of be able to operate in this space, you need to be able to make everything unified, and the fragmentation, I really think, is going to be the challenge. Liquidity is going to be a challenge if we are seeing all these different chains. I don't see the future to be one chain that win everything, but there will be different chain that will be better for different use cases. So some specific chain that might be better for something. So it will be like a multi-chain world, but obviously interoperability is very important, and that comes back to user experience, obviously.
You told us that cryptocurrency is not a currency, but Bitcoin is even legal tender now in El Salvador. And whether we believe that they made the right choice or the wrong choice, it may become the opening salvo of some other movements. Do you believe that CBDCs are the next steps, central bank digital currencies, and will they support the advancement of DeFi, or will they enable traditional banks to move into a space to slow innovation down?
So I'm going to answer 3 parts, Dave, at once and hopefully converge. Number one, El Salvador didn't do Bitcoin as a currency. If you read the documentation, it's technically a form of payment. They use it as payment, and then the government's converting it to cash to still operate. So distinctions matter. Using it as a form of payment, yes. As a currency, if I pay you in goats or rice or Apple stock, it's still payment. What you do with it matters. So the question becomes, what do banks worry? The reason, in my opinion, they want to regulate currency is how do banks make money, right? Retrospective evolution. You look backwards, evolve, or change. They make money on deposits of fiat currency in their bank that they can lend out. If there's a competing deposit structure, then the banks no longer make money. So when you're in these regulatory meetings, they don't quite understand it, but when you finally get down to the bottom line, they're concerned of seepage. If more money's going into Bitcoin or Dogecoin or Goat's Milk, anything that takes money away from the bank as their primary revenue source is the challenge. So the CDBNs, I believe, will be the settlement platform between banks. I think most countries will end up issuing their own stable coin, which will operate like a digital debit card for the retail consumer, which is different than the bank side. And ultimately, the reason the banks want it, the bank would rather me put money in their account as a deposit and issue me a digital dollar than have me put money somewhere else. So I think there's going to be distinctions. I think banks will do central digital for bank settlement. I think they'll do stable coin for that. But at the end of the day, the bank wants my money there. If a direct deposit comes in, they issue me a stable coin, they can control. Where the problem, my last point is, digital money's programmable. Debit card isn't. If they program my money where I can't buy an alternative asset, whether it's Bitcoin or stock or cigarettes after 9 p.m., the dangerous side of digital money, that's what the banks are looking at also, is that control point to leverage where your money goes, not how it functions.
I want to thank my panel participants for their very precious contribution, and all of you in the audience. And I'm very much looking forward to maybe meet here again at AIBC Europe in a year's time or two, and find that we indeed delivered on the full promise of DeFi to evolve the world of banking through the innovation of the technology of blockchain. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure.